Good morning, Georgianna. It's so good to be with you again this Monday morning. I want to just thank Janice for having covered Take 5 for me last week. And she did such a beautiful job with it. She has a soothing, calming way about her, and she writes beautifully. And truthfully, her Take 5 was just one of the most beautiful things I've heard. So we're grateful for her. I hope you had a chance to catch it. Also, just want to give a quick shout out to everybody. I hope everybody's Mother's Day was great. To all of those in our church who've lost a mother this past year, I'm kind of in that group with you now. I am in that group. And I know Mother's Day was a little weird for me for the first time. And so just know my heart is heavy with you as you experience that loss and remember that loss at Mother's Day. So we turn our attention this morning to a passage in Jeremiah. It's one of my all-time favorites. So let me share it with you. It comes from Jeremiah 17, 7 through 8. It says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him." And I want to just pause there before I go further. You know, everything begins there. All of life ebbs and flows and improves, and all those kind of things happen when we place our trust in the Lord, and then we place our confidence in him. So our confidence is not in ourselves alone, although there's a lot of things that we all do really, really well. But when we trust in the Lord, then we can be confident that the things that are beyond this world that might subdue us or conquer us no longer have power over us. And this is why it's important that we place our trust in him. Then it goes on to say this: "Those who trust and have confidence in him, they will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit." This is a prophetic picture Jeremiah has of what would happen if the nation of Judah would fall into compliance and be submissive to the Lord. This is a prophetic message for you and I. If we would too, likewise, submit to the Lord and place ourselves in the hands of a holy God and trust him for everything. So when I think about this is the word that says, when you are planted, rooted in the Lord, then your life is not perfect, but everything you need for life is there. Your sustainability is there. So one of the things that happens when I read this passage is that I think about the fact, Dee Dee says all the time to me, she says, I believe that you bloom where you're planted, right? So that God plants you, and then God then calls you to bloom, right? He calls you to bear fruit. This is biblical. This is throughout the New Testament, this concept of bearing fruit. So bloom where you're planted. But in order for you to bloom where you planted, your roots have to seek water. It has to seek something that will sustain it. It has to be seeking after something. For us, that's seeking after Jesus Christ. Bottom line, seeking after Jesus Christ. I also know that one of the things that happens when I read this text, I think about the passage from 1 Corinthians 15:33 that essentially says, "Bad company corrupts good character." So honestly, it matters where you're planted. If you plant yourself amongst unhealthy things, then it won't be very long before those unhealthy things consume you, right? So I think that when I think about these things, when I visit with young people, I know I'm so excited. When I visit with young people, one of the things that I say to them is, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll predict your future. You show me where you're spending your time and I will show you where your future will lie. And I think this is part of this passage. God desires us to plant ourselves in a place where our roots can run deep, where they can seek the streams of living water that is in Jesus Christ. And then the byproduct of that is that we will live fruitful lives. So what does it mean to live a fruitful life? Well, it means that your evidence of Christ's work through you is there for everyone to see. So as we think about the coming week, as we think about preparing for what God has for you next, think about where you're planted. Think about your root system. What are your roots seeking after? Stream of living water or something that will lead to death? Think about what kind of fruit you're bearing for the season that you're in. And know that God desires you to not bear fruit just for that season, but fruit for all seasons. So this is the message of the prophet of Jeremiah. It's a prophetic passage of who we can be and who we can become if we will plant ourselves in the Lord. So I hope this is a blessing to you today as you head off into the week. Know that I love you and I can't wait to be with you again next week. Georgianna, things are good at our church. Things are going well, and we're excited about all the good things God is doing. So if you don't know, our new worship pastor begins with us next Sunday. I hope you'll tune in for that live to see Nick O'Brien start his ministry with us. I love you, church. I'll see you next Monday.